Yo, Toshi here. So first of all, what is a Toshi video without slandering Hoyoverse every once in a while? And I'm pissed at this company. How the do I not get into the Zenless Zone Zero beta? Anyways, today we're going to be talking about whether you should roll for Silverwolf, Huohuo, or ruan. We're going to do all of the support characters in this one video because I thought, why not? Okay, can you tell I'm out of content, all right? I'm trying to get videos out there, but I love Silverwolf. I use Silverwolf all the time. I use her with every single damage dealer I have on my account. She honestly is really fun. She does a lot of personal damage herself, and I think that's part of the reason why I use her. Aside from all the other debuffers in the game, Tobaz is one of those debuffers that does damage, right? So I kind of picture her like Silverwolf, essentially a skill point positive supporter that can be built as a damage dealer, and these two have the same job, honestly. Silverwolf is very nice though, because you don't have to necessarily build her as a DPS, and she still gets the job done because of her weakness implant effect. Allows you to put whatever weakness you have on your team onto the enemy, right, making your characters deal more damage. And defense shred is the highest defense shred in the game, sitting at close to 50%. It's very nice because it allows you to tackle harder enemies that have higher defenses, higher resistances, right, and just more stats overall, making her a very nice character for harder contents in the game. This is my Silverwolf build. I have her at 130 speed, 70 crit rate, 120 crit damage, and I have her with the, well, light cone. I'm not using the Silverwolf event light cone just because I want her to do more damage. So therefore, I'm able to utilize the Welt Light Cone. It gives affected rate towards the elemental skill, which is the ability you're looking to land on the target most times. Is going to be the ability that is the hardest to land on target, right? Especially those enemies that have high resistances. And I am utilizing E2 Silverwolf, so keep in mind that I do actually have less effective rate than you actually need in order to land those debuffs. But overall, I really do like my Silverwolf build, and I put out a massive amount of damage, especially considering that if you look at her speed, it's 130 speed. You would think I'm using speed boost, but no, I'm using attack percent boost with a high speed substat. So there's that. This was my old Silverwolf build, and I had a hybrid build, which I honestly don't recommend. Just try to focus down on one stat or one playstyle for the character. Break effect would be a stat you would just focus on, right? If you're looking to just do as much damage as you can whenever you break the enemy with Silverwolf with her weakness implant. But this was my old build when I did not have Eidolon 2. I had around 70% effective rate. The light cone is very nice for the character. It's very, very solid. And then these were the crit stats I had in the character. Now, you're probably going to need more effective rate in some scenarios. Not all of the enemies, but just generally, you want more effective rate than that. Around 96 is what most people say. So around that number will be very good because then you'll be able to land your debuffs on every single enemy in the game. But for most enemies, you don't need that much, right? Let's say you pull Silverwolf and you don't have her event light cone at the time of her banner. Then I would just go for a good night and sleep well because this is a very solid light cone, and then I would just full send on her as a damage dealer. And then you can utilize the injury regeneration rate link rope instead of attack percent because this will give you more energy, right? And you'll be able to get your ult faster, so I would utilize this. But if you want to build her as a damage dealer, then feel free to actually just give her an attack percent rope and just go full damage. So don't feel too bad if you missed the Silverwolf event. Honestly, the only thing I would feel bad about with the event is missing it because it was actually really fun. I really enjoyed the event overall, but just know that you have one less option for Silverwolf overall in terms of weapons. Not too bad if you think about it. So we made plenty of videos on Mono Quantum, and Silverwolf's 4-star Mono Quantum team is very, very valuable. I would say the value is comparable to Kafka Dot team, right? You have Kafka, who is the 5-star limited character, and you have a bunch of 4-star damage over time damage dealers. And then you have your defensive option, right, in the last slot. And this team is no exception. I mean, you have one 5-star limited character, and every other character in here is very free-to-play friendly, right? And if you take into consideration, all of them can utilize the same relic set. It means you can save a ton on your Trailblaze power. Now, Lynx is a character that you may not have, and I understand that. She was on one banner, that was Fu Xuan's banner, and she has not been around ever since. But don't worry, I believe that she will be given for free at some point. And the reason why is because we just received a 4-star light cone from the current event with huohuo. So that means the next patch will be receiving a 4-star character for free, because that's usually the trend of events that Hoyoverse does when it comes to their in-game big events, right? They give a character, next one after that, they give a light cone, so on and so forth. So we're going to be getting a 4-star character for free next patch, and I predict it to be Lynx because we've already received all the other 4-star characters if you think about it. Pela, right? She was given for free in the last event. We've got Luca. He was given for free in the last event. Serval, given for free, right, in the last event. So it probably does not seem like a character that they would give us, honestly. Herta we get from the Simulated Universe, so I wouldn't expect her to be given for free, right? When we already get her for free pretty much. Dan Heng is a standard character that we give for free in the beginning of the game. Hook was a character given for free in the previous event alongside Serval, Luca, or Pela. We literally got Su Sheng in the Arm Alley event. And then Ting Yun's value is too crazy. I don't think they would give us her for free. Yukong is a very nice character. I don't think they would give us Eidolons for this character, right? She's just so good with her Eidolons. Again, I'm looking at it based on Eidolon value and looking at it based on character value overall. Let's say all that comes to fruition, right? QQ you get for free in the beginning of the game. Lynx is a character that you may be given for free next patch, and the Silverwolf is the only limited character you have to roll for. And she's a very nice character overall, so even if you don't roll for her for the 4-star Mono Quantum team, you can still utilize her outside of this team as well, because she's a very nice debuffing supporting character overall. I know a lot of you probably flame me in the comment section for this one, and honestly it's deserved. XY, this character, whenever she comes out in 1.6, is going to be very nice in the Mono Quantum team, right? She's a destruction character. I don't see her being a character that is going to utilize a ton of skill points like Daniel, right? Because it wouldn't make sense. She will most likely be a skill point neutral character, which means she fits nicely in this team, right? She doesn't take away any skill points from QQ, but that is just one of the many reasons of rolling for this character. And honestly, if I was a new player, I really would roll because of that. Honestly, Huohuo has been a very fun character. I've really enjoyed using her, and she has made this game, like I said in previous videos, a lot more enjoyable. But is she really worth your gems if you are a new player, or you're someone who is looking to pick up a character really soon? If I'm being completely honest with you, and the fact, let's just say we receive Lynx for free next patch. Honestly, no. Because Lynx is a character that honestly gets the job done. She's a 4-star, she cleanses every single debuff, cleanses on elemental skill, cleanses on her ultimate. She cleanses everything. I don't think you absolutely need to go for the character Huohuo in this case, because like I said, Lynx just gets the job done. Huohuo doesn't have any damage mitigation, so you are susceptible to one-shots, but to me, she is a kill or be killed healer, meaning the buff she provides is a feast or famine type of character. Huohuo gives 60% energy to the team, and a 40% attack buff to everyone as well at max levels. That makes her comparable to Harmony characters. It's insane what this character can do, and in conjunction with a character like Ting Yun, her value explodes even more. Just like Luocha, you can put her in every single team comp in the game, and she will find value because every character in the game needs energy. The only exception to this is Blade, and he's a character that does not need any attack, and he does not need any energy. So therefore, his best friend is a 4-star character who is Lynx. And honestly, like I said, if we get her for free next patch, and you are looking to be a Blade main, there really is no reason to roll for Huohuo in your account, honestly. For people that enjoy Kafka, then you're definitely going to want to roll for Huohuo because she's a character that increases Kafka's damage greatly, being the defensive option in the team, and she does not take any skill points away from Kafka, which makes her a very solid character to use alongside her. Now, I understand that Kafka is a character that has to use her elemental skill every single turn, so she's just like every other damage dealer in the game. Furthermore, the energy that Huohuo does provide to Kafka makes it to where Kafka can get her ult much more often, making her a nice AoE damage dealer in that case. So I like using Kafka in hypercarry teams, and I really do wish I had her in my main account so I could showcase Kafka alongside Huohuo and Ting Yun. If I had Eidolon 6 Kafka with Huohuo and Ting Yun, I don't think I'd play anything else in the game, to be honest, because that sounds so insane. This character gets her ult so fast. The energy she gets from Ting Yun means she gets her ult even faster, and then Huohuo gives attack and energy to Kafka. So this is currently my Huohuo build. I have almost 5k HP. You honestly should get more than that. The only reason I have 5k HP is because I am using a defense percent spear, but I have 148 speed. Honestly, you do not need this much speed. Don't think you do. You do not need this much. I would say a good amount of speed is just having enough to where you can go before your damage dealer to give him a skill point. That's all you really need for the character. And then I have 60 effect resistance. Honestly, effect resistance is a scam in Honkai Star before 70%. Even then, it still is a scam because a lot of the enemies will still land debuffs on you. I get frozen by Yangqing so many times on this character. It is insane. But 70% is honestly a very solid stopping point. If you have less than that, you're going to be CC'd most of the time, honestly. And then the energy regeneration I have is 140%. I found this amount to not be necessary. You don't need to have this much. But I found getting her ult a lot more quickly. She gets her ult very fast, and she gives more energy and more attack to the team. Why wouldn't I have this much, honestly? But again, you do not need to have this much on the character. And again, I have not changed my huohuo build ever since I got her. This has remained her build and is going to stay her build. You do not need to farm for the character, just use whatever pieces you have in your account, give the character HP, speed, effect, resistance, outgoing healing boost, HP or defense. Honestly, just give her HP percent. The only reason I have this is because I cannot get an HP main stat on this set to save my freaking life. But I do have energy regeneration on Link Rope, and this is very important for the character. This one honestly rolled really good, and I could not have been more happy. And as for her weapon, honestly, post-op conversation is really good. Shared feeling is also really good because when you use your elemental skill, you'll give energy to the team. And if you don't have either of those gacha options, then quid pro quo is going to be your best friend because you'll give energy to the team on your off turns, which means she becomes a further battery for your characters. Very, very nice. The event lycon we get for huohuo's event is really solid. You get 12% more HP for the character, and you get 28% outgoing healing boost for the team, which is also pretty good. I don't like it though because, well, you don't get energy, right? Energy regeneration is very, very strong for a character that batteries the team and gives attack as well on the ultimate. And furthermore, you're not giving energy on the off turns with quid pro quo. You're not giving energy with share feeling on your elemental skill. But this is a very strong lycon. If you don't have any of those options and you don't want to use quid pro quo, I would use this any day because you get so much HP and you get so much outgoing healing on the character. So I love this character. Her value is compared to Fu Xuan. Fu Xuan being the other option, I would say, as being top tier alongside this character. Loach is still an amazing character, but again, he was just very easy to power creep, and it's just unfortunate that this is the reality of the situation. If you're not rolling for Ruan Mei based on her appearance, you're honestly trolling. So Ruan Mei being the first limited harmony character, on release she is going to be compared to Bronya. There is no way to avoid this. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Therefore, her value has to come close to Bronya no matter how you slice the cake. Even though she will be a character that probably will be in different team comps than Bronya, her value will still be compared to this character, right? So therefore, I expect her to be an amazing top tier character because, well, Bronya has already set the bar for the harmony path. The thing is about Bronya, she cleanses an ally, pushes up their action forward, and buffs their damage for one turn, making her a must-have for hypercarry teams. She gives attack and crit damage to the team, making her very good for team comps where you're utilizing a sub DPS character, or you're utilizing her in hypercarry furthermore because of the stacking damage. She gives a further damage buff by just existing because her name is Bronya. And if she uses a basic attack, she will advance her own action forward, making her a very nice character to use if you are playing her with slow damage dealers. And even if you don't have her idle on 1, which helps with skill point management, she still is a very solid character because she is able to generate a skill point for the damage dealer before the damage dealer takes their turn, depending on how fast you have the character. My Bronya is not the fastest in the world, and having a fast Bronya while giving her a ton of crit damage while having effect resistance is going to be one of the hardest things you can do for any character in the game. If you want to have her with all of these stats, then you're going to have to lose on some of the other stats, meaning she would be squishy, she won't have as much defense. It's really hard to build this character, but if you want to utilize her in the best way possible, give her a ton of speed and give her a ton of crit damage. You can honestly half-ass an effect resistance, especially if you play her with a cleanser in your team. So even with all of those cons, Bronya still is top tier alongside Silverwolf. Now Hoyoverse is not a dumb company. They find ways and loopholes in their games to create characters that can essentially do different things from the pre-existing characters in the respective path for the respective element. So I expect Ruan Mei to cover a niche that Bronya doesn't cover if they decide to go that route and not full on power creep, which again, Bronya is a character that makes them tons of money still, so I don't expect them to power creep Bronya exactly. Maybe they power creep Bronya in some specific teams. Let me explain. A few characters in the game are not able to utilize the best harmony character in the game, which is Bronya, and that is Kafka. The reason being is because Kafka is a character that needs to use her elemental skill every single turn. So therefore, whenever Bronya pushes up the action forward of Kafka and Kafka uses her elemental skill, you're wasting 2 skill points. So that means the other 2 characters in your team comp has to be skill point positive. And that's because your 2 characters, Kafka and Bronya, take up so many skill points already. And furthermore, if you're using Kafka alongside a character like Sampo, you're not going to get much value from Bronya anyways, because Bronya is a single buffer, mostly. Whereas Kafka really wants to buff her whole team as well. So that's why you utilize a character like Asta more, because Asta gives speed and attack to the whole team, not just to one character. And this became even more prevalent with the release of Guinai Fen, who loves Asta in the same team. I've used a team of Kafka, Asta, and Guinai Fen, because Guinai Fen is buffed by Asta, and Kafka is as well. Now, while Asta is an amazing character, we all have gotten her for free in the beginning of the game. So that means Hoyoverse would not mind power creeping her because, well, they give us her for free. She then becomes a nice free-to-play alternative to a pre-existing 5-star limited character. And I expect ruan to be a 5-star version of Asta. So I expect ruan to do the same thing. I expect her to give speed, and I expect her to give some form of damage amplification to the team. Because, again, she would cover a niche that honestly needs more work. But all I'm going to say is that we have 3 hypercarry eccentric harmony characters, and we only have 1 team eccentric harmony character. So therefore, ruan is most likely going to be a team eccentric harmony character, just so we have more options, and a 5-star premium option at that for the team. And I think that is a game changer for Honkai Star Rail for sure. And Memories of the Past is a light cone that comes close to meshing Kongs, because it gives energy whenever the ally attacks the enemy, which means this is a very solid light cone for Asta, because Asta is a character that attacks the enemy every time she takes her turn, right? Her elemental skill, her basic attack, and her ultimate does not do any damage. And the break effect is very good on the character anyways, because Asta most of the time is going to be on a break effect build anyways. So all of a sudden, ruan becomes a very solid character because, well, you only need the character and the options you have for your weapons is endless because there's so many decent options you can use on the character. So there you have it. I tried to make this video as informative as possible. Now, when it comes to all 3 of these support characters, which one should you honestly choose? This is very hard, and to be honest, this is the hardest patch and a half, I guess you could say, because ruan comes in 1.6, not 1.5, that most players are going to have to go through. Huohuo, Silverwolf, or ruan. It's a very hard choice. I'm going to choose Silverwolf, and that's because you can always get a defensive option at some point in the game. So Huohuo isn't necessarily a must pull, but she's just a luxury character and a very nice option to have in Kafka dot teams, which honestly is very, very good. I'm being completely honest here. And then ruan is a character we don't know much about, but if we're going off of all the information I presented in this video, she's looking to be a 5-star version of Asta, which honestly is a nice thing. So if you are a Kafka main, I would go for huohuo and then save for ruan because those 2 characters are definitely going to be very nice with Kafka. But if you are a quantum enjoyer or you are a new player, you don't have anything on your account, I would go for Silverwolf because she will allow you to tackle the harder content as soon as possible. And therefore, you'll be able to utilize her in the 4-star monoquantum team, which is looking to become a very nice free-to-play friendly team just like Kafka's dot team. But let's say you are a veteran player and you can utilize all 3 characters on your account because you have all the tools needed to make them excel what they do. Then you have to look at their playstyles. Is monoquantum or Silverwolf a playstyle you're going to enjoy? If it's not, then don't go for the character. If you enjoy the dot playstyle, then definitely pull for a character like huohuo and a character like ruan, who will probably be very good with dot characters. If you don't enjoy the dot playstyle, you don't enjoy the monoquantum playstyle, then look at huohuo as a character that provides energy and attack to the team. Do you enjoy dual DPS comps? Because if you don't enjoy those comps, then don't go for huohuo. But if you enjoy hypercarry, you don't really need any of these characters because hypercarry is already at its peak. We have Bronya, we have Ting Yun. And for the defensive character, you have Luocha, you have Fu Xuan, you have all these other 4-star characters that can get the job done. Heck, even Bailu alongside Bronya is very, very good for hypercarry teams. So you don't need to invest any more in that playstyle because you already have the best tools for that job. But that's just my honest opinion. That's going to be the video here. Thank you for watching and have a nice rest of your day. Peace.